Hey everybody, my name's Christian Smedberg. I'm the marketing manager here at Weinig Holzer USA, and we're talking about our in-house grinding service today. Joining me,
I'm Mike Neville. I'm the grinding service supervisor here at Weinig.
So we're in our showroom right now, but Mike, you have an office and a shop set up right here in Mooresville.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
So the grinding service provides rough ground knives, finished ground knives for molders to any of our customers, and you guys ship all over the U.S.
All over the U.S., Canada.
In Canada, take orders every day.
That's correct.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't haven't tried our grinding service, we invite you to watch this video because what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of walk you through it. We have a real grinding service order right here that we're going to unpack for you to kind of take you through the steps of what you can expect when you do business with us. But before we even get into that, Mike, tell me, why would a shop take advantage of our grinding service here at Weinig?
Sure. So there's many reasons. I'm just going to touch on a couple of the most common and the obvious, which is purchase of a molder or grinder.
Okay, right. So someone buys a new machine, and if they buy a new molder, and maybe they haven't even bought the grinder, so they're going to need a source for knives.
Absolutely.
Right.
They're going to need profile knives, straight knives, insert tooling, any of those items we can help them with.
Right, perfect. And now you mentioned someone buys a grinder. Well, if they buy a grinder from us, why would they need us to grind their knives?
Sure. So for our customers that have grinders, we offer a few services to them. First of all, templates. So they're going to need templates to grind those knives. So we have acrylic and steel templates as well. So we can offer that to them.
Right.
And then we also offer rough knives, which are on the water jet.
Okay, so they're on the water jet, meaning that we cut them out on a water jet, opposed to having the customer rough them out on their grinder.
That's correct.
What's the advantage there?
So, well, the water jet process is unique in the sense that it's a cool cut, so you don't introduce the heat into the knife, which is important into the steel. And we leave about 50 thousandths of material on that, so there's some steel left for them to finish grind.
Okay.
The benefit is the time. It's a huge time saver.
Okay,
So
I see.
And also wear and tear on their new equipment and their reduced use of the cutting wheels.
Right, so because you're going to be using up that cutting wheel just by hogging all that material out.
That's correct.
Right.
Very true.
All right, so those are, and you said there were a couple of reasons. What's another reason why someone would take advantage of the grinding service?
So the other thing, I kind of lump two things into one, which is our labor and equipment related.
Okay,
and
how so?
Labor, we've run into situations where a grinderman maybe retires or is out sick for a period of time, so we step in and help those customers so they can continue on.
Okay, right, because it's not just about having a grinder, you have to have an operator.
That's correct.
Yeah, okay. All right.
And not everyone can be a good grinderman.
Right. Sure. So, all right. So those are just a few of the situations that would lead a shop to inquire about our services here.
And then the equipment factor too. There's oftentimes where someone's equipment may be down, or there's problems that come up. So we're here to help in that situation as well. Right.
Of course. So a grinder could go down, make some maintenance, and they need a rush knife. So they could call you guys.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. So kind of take us through the process. If someone is interested in using the Weinig USA grinding service, how would they go about doing that?
Well, obviously they would need to contact us, and then once that happens, we can have a conversation and discuss their type of business, what species of lumber, their machine, cutter head, those kind of things.
Right.
Get that information, and then they can provide us with a sample, a physical sample, a scan, or a sketch, and we can create an approval drawing from that.
Okay, so real quick, just backing up. So basically, you guys have kind of a conversation with the customer just to make sure that y'all are on the same page about what kind of equipment that they're using, what kind of expectations they have for the tooling and for the knives themselves, what kind of material they're wanting, etc. And then you go into a drawing. Then you go into the actual drawing profile. how do you guys, what do you prefer as far as getting a drawing of that profile? I know I've seen like sketches on napkins before, but what do you guys like?
So we prefer a physical wood sample is the best option, most accurate.
Right. Yep.
But we can accept a scanned image of that sample on a flatbed scanner. It doesn't need to be anything fancy, just good DPI.
Yeah.
And then we can take that image and import it into CAD and create it, or a faxed sketch will work as well.
Yeah. Okay. But best case scenario is that you get a piece of molding.
That's the best case scenario.
And then you're working backwards from that.
Correct. Most accurate way to duplicate is to actually have a physical piece.
Right.
And then we can create a very accurate drawing from that.
Sure. So you take that drawing, you work up a quote, send both back to the customer.
Correct. So yes, we will send a quote, an order form, and the approval drawing.
Yep.
Once we send that out, we just wait for an approval, contact back with that, and then we get into scheduling and processing the order and the lead time.
Now, the work leading up to that approval and that order form, that's just background work that we do. The customer is not prepaying for any of that work. They only, when the order takes place, it's after we actually get that approval drawing to them.
That's correct. Yeah, we try to get as much information up front as possible,
right?
Because we want to provide them with the best options for whatever situation that they have.
Absolutely. Now, real quick, I'm just going to touch on one other thing, which is not only are you talking about that profile, but then you're also talking about the knives. What type of knives, and how they're going to fit into the tooling and the material of the knives. And there's a lot more variables that go into that.
There are a lot. We offer 5 different types of high-speed steel and some carbide, 2 different types of carbide. Mm-hmm. So we definitely need to get a lot of information, a lot of details, so that we really are providing the best option.
Sure. All right. So the order's placed. Then what are you guys looking at as far as production lead time, and what can customers expect then?
Sure. So our standard lead time on finished ground knives is 3 to 5 days.
Yep. Okay.
For our rough knives or water jetted knives, it's 1 to 2 days, and our acrylic templates are 1 to 2 days as well.
Okay. Great. So then production happens either 1 to 2 days, 3 to 5 days, whatever it may be, depending on the product, and then you guys ship it out.
That's correct.
And then we get to this.
And this is the order right here.
So this is a real order that we want to share with all of you out there, just to kind of show you what to expect when you're dealing with our grinding service.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And first thing we'll talk about here is shipping. So there's a shipping label on this. This one happens to be a next day air package.
So you guys rush ship stuff.
We do, and we offer some great flat rate shipping charges that just extend to our customers, and we also offer free ground shipping on certain orders.
Right. So again, the flat rate is a big deal because sometimes knives can get pretty heavy depending on how many you're ordering, how big your tooling is, etc. And so we've worked really hard to negotiate down that flat rate shipping charges, pass those savings on to you.
That's correct, and another big advantage to that is for our customers that may say are out on the West Coast or further away.
Sure.
You can buy a day or two, as I like to call it, with the shipping rate.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so let's dig into this, Mike, and see what you get.
All right. All right. So the first thing we'll notice is the expanding foam package.
Yep.
So the shipping department does a great job keeping all this together so we don't get any damage.
So that's that expandable foam, keeps everything nice and tight. Yep.
And then I don't know if you guys can see that, but
there you go.
That's kind of what it looks like there.
So coming out of the box, all the deliverables are in looks like a heavy duty plastic bag that we'll just put right here.
That's correct, and we use this bag to transport to shipping, and then it's in their hands.
So everything that the shop does goes into this bag. The bag goes on to the shipping department, gets boxed up.
That's correct.
Right.
Exactly right.
So what's in the bag?
All right. So let's tear into this. I'm going to open this up here. First thing we'll talk about is the drawing. Now this is the actual approval drawing that you would receive for approval, and it's in this clear plastic sleeve.
Right.
Pretty straightforward.
So Mike, why do you put it in a plastic sleeve?
Well, for a couple reasons. One, to protect it, but also if you've got a 3-ring binder handy, which they just pop it right in the binder.
Yep.
It's easy to access and it keeps it safe.
Right. So any operation, if you're getting knives, you're going to need a drawing of the knives. This is imperative to run those knives well on one of our molders. So we provide the drawing. It's what we do. You're going to need it, so it comes along in the package.
And it's not only for approval process, but as Christian mentioned, for setup purposes,
Right.
and also if customers are grinding their own knives, for OCMS, for measuring, we've got all the dimensions on here so that you can qualify the knife as well.
Right. All right, great.
Perfect.
All right, so Mike, what else do we have?
So what else? Let's go next with the template. So this is just a pretty standard acrylic template.
Okay.
We ship those
Yep.
with all our orders, whether it be rough or finished.
Right. So now, Mike, order finished knives because they're wanting to run production. You're still sending the template.
That's correct. We send a template with all our orders,
Every order
whether they
gets a
have a
template.
grinder or not. Yeah.
Right. So if they have a grinder, then they can use this template on their grinder to sharpen the knife or to run the profile again, etc.
That's correct. And if they send the knives back to us for sharpening, we request that you send the template with it. Then we
Gotcha.
can just use this template ourselves to resharpen.
Now, real quick, this is also the actual template that was made to make the knives.
That's correct.
Right.
We have to use the actual template. We use the 960 manual grinder, so
Yep.
we
All
use
right.
that template.
So you get the template as well. Put that
Correct.
right there. All right. What else do we have?
All
in
right,
that
now
bag?
let's get to the goods.
To the actual goods.
So this is a set of knives that we ground, and we dip these knives in a wax. We call it. It's actually a rubberized petroleum-based
Yeah.
material,
Look at that.
and it does a few things for us.
Right. So right now, one, I am not hurting my. I am squeezing knives, but it protects from any kind of handling.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's very important. Safety is key.
Right.
The other thing is it protects the knives if you had 1 or 2 or 3 sets in here in a larger bag, from any kind of impact they might get from shipping. So it protects the knife from that as well.
So there's multiple knives in here.
That's correct.
But it's nice and tight. They're not. They're right up against one another. It adds protection. Now it also protects the actual knife material. Correct.
That's correct.
Yep.
So in addition to the obvious protection, this is a petroleum-based product. So once we dip the knives and it cools, it's going to protect them against corrosion during the shipping process.
Perfect. Mike, how do I get the knives out of this?
Well, the easiest way is to cut them open.
Okay.
So I'm
All
going
right.
to gently cut these open here. And then you can just simply peel this apart.
Oh, okay. I see.
And some of our customers will actually keep this, and then they can store the knives in that.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. It's a nice little sleeve for storage.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Sure. So we'll set that over there.
And there's a
And there's
finished product.
There's our knife right there. So the deliverable that most people would be after, the actual knife, right here. But we wanted to kind of go through and show you that not only do you have the knife, but the template, the protective coating, obviously, the template, and the drawing.
drawing.
Yep.